Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're brewing a India Pale Lager. I'm gonna do it on my claw hammer system. We're using electricity today. We're brewing in this actual brewery. This is my first time ever doing this, so bear with me. So what I want out of this beer is just something super drinkable, hoppy. If you've ever had Allagash's hoppy table beer, that's kind of what I think of an IPL as. I'm pretty sure it's not an IPL, but you know, it's crisp, it's light, it's definitely hoppy, but it's not overbearing. So we're not going to do any dry hops on this one. We're going to do a bunch of later addition, and we're using whole cone hops today. If you saw the recipe video, which is here, you know that I'm just trying to clear out my freezer basically, so we're using some Pekko hops for bittering and some Amarillo and Azacca for the later addition hops. And very simple malt bill, 6 pounds 2-row, 5 pounds of Pilsner. And so, yeah, and I'm going to ferment it at around 55 degrees, so we still get a little bit of estery action, but it should still really clean out with the San Francisco lager yeast we are using. Let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy with my new Reflectix. And if you want to see how I actually cut this Reflectix up to make it fit so nicely on here, I have a video of it here. My favorite part is that it's tied with a bow. Alrighty, so of course I gotta get my valve out. We've got 2 layers of Reflectix under this so I don't burn up my table. We've got Reflectix on the top. Keep everything super insulated. And now I'm just gonna set it up, and we're going to start heating our water. Our mash temp is going to be 152. I always do 152. I like it as a number. I don't know why. So we're going to bring our strike water temperature up to 157. I've got RO water. We're doing 7 gallons today, and we're going to do some water additions, but we'll get to that in a second. Right now, I've got to connect everything to my claw hammer system. All right, so heat. It's so nice to be able to brew in here because all my stuff lives in here, so I'm not having to hike everything to the kitchen. Alrighty, so I haven't been using this claw hammer system for a while because I got a new burner and I've been in Washington, so I may be a little rusty. Claw hammer is actually sending me a conversion kit so that I can use this on my propane burner once it cools down in the fall, I guess. I don't know. It's summer in LA, so it's going to be a while. Okay, I think that's all we need for right now. Let's swap these actually. So I'm swapping these because this one's shorter. This is actually going to be way easier on my pumps than usual. So I'm going to go ahead and set my heat while I'm here to 157, and I'm going to add the water. I have drawers now, so I can put this on a drawer. So I've already got my screen in here. I just realized I shouldn't have put my screen in already because then I can't read the measurements. So we're filling it up to 7 gallons. And we're there. Okay, now I'm going to throw on my screen just to get it out of the way. Throw my lid back on. And let's start the heat. I'm also going to set my alarm so that it'll let me know when it's at 157. Cool. Okay, so let's do our water additions while we're here. Another thing I think is really great about brewing in the brewery is that I can measure as I'm talking to you guys. So usually I would have to go back and forth, change camera angles, do a bunch of unnecessary shit. We're just gonna hope that this cooling thing works, or we're not gonna be able to do this anymore. If I spill a lot of stuff on the floor here, it's not going to be permitted. For our water additions, we're doing 1/2 gram of calcium chloride, 1.4 grams of Epsom salt, and 0.8 grams of gypsum. Okay, so I'm just going to throw this in here. And I'm going to open my valve, prime my pump. I'll meet you guys back here when we're ready to mash in. Okay, so for our malt today, we are doing 6 pounds of two-row and 5 pounds of Pilsner. So I said in the recipe that I was gonna do Rahr, but it turns out I have not opened up my 55-pound sack yet. So I am doing the Viking Pilsner I've got right here. So I'm just gonna do that guy first and then do the two-row from the Rahr bag. So unfortunately, my 5-gallon bucket has been repurposed for an air conditioner leak. So I'm just gonna have to pour all 11 pounds into the mill and then put it on top of the 2.5-gallon bucket and hope for the best. The spacing on the rollers looks all right, so we're gonna just pray. Crossing my fingers. I feel like it could be finer. I'm gonna run it through again. Oh yeah, our spacing opened up a bunch. All right, so I'm just gonna dump this back in there, even though it's gonna make a huge mess. I'm only gonna run through half. The bottom half looks good. All right, that time it didn't open up, so that should be good. So it's pretty fine. Okay, so we're at our temperature, which is why this is incessantly beeping. So I am going to turn off that alarm before anything. Actually, what I'm actually gonna do is change the alarm to boiling. I usually set it at 210 just in case the thermometer's a little off. So looks like the thermometer in the thermo well is reading very accurately. We got 2 exact measurements. So I'm gonna stop my pump and we're gonna mash in. Now the question is, how do I make this not explode everywhere? I think I just gotta pull it off. Cool. That actually works way better than anything I've tried in the past. Now, where did I put my spoon? So this is just our 6 pounds two-row, 5 pounds Pilsner. So the nice thing about having an electric system is that you can actually run the heat while it's in there, compared to my brew in a bag system where I have to make sure I kill the heat because it'll melt the bag basically. This has got a metal screen in it, so it makes it a lot easier to keep my temperature consistent. I'm just mushing this up to make sure there's no clumps in the malt. If you've got clumps, you are not getting as high efficiency as you want. I'm also going to grab a little sample to take a, I'll use a glass, to take a pH reading at. I recirculate the wort as I'm mashing, just to keep the temperature consistent within it. So we're gonna do a 60-minute mash. I'm in no rush today. I'm editing videos like on my desk, literally 5 feet away from me right now. So I've got some time to kill. So we're just gonna let this guy sit at 152. I'm gonna decrease my temperature. I guess I should take my mash temperature and see what we're at right now. Okay, so it's set at 152 and we are currently seeing temperatures of, so it's around 149, 150 right now. It's changing a bit. Oh, 151. So it's pretty much there. We're like within a couple degrees, which is cool. So I'm gonna start this pump over and I'm gonna stick this in my kegerator to cool down a little bit so that we can get a accurate pH reading. And I'm gonna set a timer for 60 minutes. This pH sample is at room temperature now, so we're going to give it a test. I calibrated my pH meter the other day, so we know it's gonna be good. It's reading very high. I think I pulled it too quick. So my pH ended up being a little low. We're sitting at a 5.8, so I'm just gonna add a touch of lactic acid. I'm gonna add 1 milliliter and then kind of see where we're at. Okay, so this is now down to room temp and it's still sitting at 5.8. So I'm gonna add 1 more milliliter. I'm gonna call that good. I don't like adding more than 2 milliliters of lactic acid because you can get it really, really low. Okay, so our mash is done. So what I'm gonna do now is do the whole thing where I have to climb on top of something so I can actually lift this out. First, I'm going to just drape this in here. Still got water in it. Let me get on my gloves. So I'm gonna let this drain while we heat up. This is extremely dicey, what's happening here. And I guess I can take a refractometer reading now. So we're looking for a pre-boil gravity of 1.049. Actually looks like we might be there. We've got 12.5 bricks. Let me just pull up my Brewfather app. So we're at 1.052 actually for our pre-boil gravity. Cool. I wonder why that was so high. I did double mill it, so maybe that's the key. Who knows? Everything. I feel like now that I did so long, like with the brew in the bag, I have to like get used to this one now, and it's like exceeding my expectations of my efficiency because I'm always like, oh, the squeeze method for brew in a bag is so much more efficient, but like this, I think I estimated a 70% efficiency, and we're beating it now. I'm not quite sure what our volume's at right now, but it seems like this is gonna get us there. I mean, we're basically already at our original gravity, so this might be a little bit higher. I might water it down. I don't know. We'll see how much volume we get out. All right, so we're going up to boiling now. It's just heating all the liquid in here. All right, I will meet you guys back here when we are boiling, and once we are boiling, we're gonna wait half an hour for our first hop addition. Okay, so we're at our 30-minute mark, and I'm gonna add my half an ounce of Pekko. Just gonna go ahead and stir these in and let those boil. So I'm setting a timer for 25 minutes so that we can do our 5-minute edition, and then we can start chilling. I'm going to show you guys a chilling system I devised. Who knows if it's sane or not. But after much thought about it, we finally created a way to chill in this room. Okay, so it is now our 5-minute edition, which is the 2 ounces of Azacca. Okay, so I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes on that and set up this new chilling system that hopefully works. My 194 degree 5-minute whirlpool. It's looking like it might be a longer than 5-minute whirlpool because we're having technical difficulties. Alrighty. So again, opening up this valve to let water flow into the pump. I'm going to plug this pump back in so it can keep going. We're right at our 5-minute. And hey, it's working! So this is coming out like lukewarm, and the temperature's dropping. I'm gonna call this a success. Alright, well, I'll see you guys back here when it's done. So we're now about 86 degrees, and I'm transferring my wort into my sanitized spike flex, and I'm just gonna wrap the brew jacket around it. So I'm gonna use the glycol to get this down to 55 degrees, which is gonna be our lagering temperature. So we're actually at less than 5 gallons. I was hoping for 5.5, so I think I'm going to boil some more RO water and add it to it. And I'm going to figure out exactly how much to add to hit my target by using the Brewer's Friend website. So our original gravity was 13.5, which is definitely over. Let's just see how much over. So we're at 1.057, and we were hoping for 1.053. So I'm gonna plug that into Brewer's Friend, and I'll link below to it. So our wort volume is 4.9. Current gravity is 1.057, and desired gravity 1.053. So we need to add 0.37 gallons of RO water. So I'm just gonna go ahead and boil that, kill anything in it, and chill it down, probably in my freezer. And we'll add that to this. I'm gonna get this started though, before we even do that, and stick it in its new resting place. Okay, so this is now down to 55 degrees, so I'm just gonna pitch my yeast. And I've already added my chilled water to it, the 0.37 gallons. So we should be right at 1.053 for our original gravity. All right, I'll see you guys back here in August to drink this beer.
Thanks for watching. If you want to get all of my videos early, you can become a member. I'm also doing shout outs, so I want to thank Chew and Brew for becoming our latest member. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you guys next time.
Well, if anyone wants a sticker version of this recipe, I printed it on the label paper, which is rad. Anyway, what the fuck is happening? Here's some advice. Don't plug your system into a hanging the extension cord that it can fall out of, because that'll happen. Anyway.